the pre-hearing report today. He also announced that the hearing of the petition would start on 30th May. He said after the adoption of written addresses on 5th August 2023, the courts shall thereafter prepare for judgment. Moving on now, spokesperson of the Rivers APC Campaign Council in the just concluded elections, Sogbeye Eli, has been reacting to reports that the party has withdrawn its petition from the Governorship Election Tribunal. While speaking with our correspondent, Mr. Eli explained that the withdrawal made by the lawyer from APC National on the suit brought before the tribunal challenging INEC's declaration of Sim Fubara as governor-elect does not amount to withdrawal of interest on the part of the Rivers APC governorship candidate Tony Cole. Well, Mr. Eli said provisions of the new Electoral Act do not support an overriding power of a party against the interest of its candidate.
Makes it a bit tough for the party to have overriding powers. But in another proper, the law provides for safety and protection of the candidates against the whim and caprices of the party. Where the party shows disinterest to pursue a petition, the candidate that is committed to this case will continue. The withdrawal of the party does not in any way appreciate or condemn the petition itself to death. Concerning what happened yesterday, Tony Cole is still in different tribunal as well as other candidates who filed their various petitions at different levels, Senate, House of Legislature, State of Assembly to challenge results declared by INEC in Rivers State.
Earlier, the APC governorship candidate in Rivers State, Tony Cole, said the report that he has withdrawn his petition against the emergence of PDP's Sim Fubara as governor is not true. Well, Mr. Cole said this in a video following reports that the APC in Rivers State has withdrawn its petition.
My people, I hear this news say I don't withdraw from this election tribunal matter. My lie, I never go anywhere. We be here. You see, we go carry this matter, go all the way to the end. They know if you drive us, if you do all this fake news, say we don't come out, say we know they pursue them, they know say they thief this mandate, and then they fear. Then they fear say they know if it bribe me, then they fear say they know if it intimidate me. We go there until the judges hear the matter finish, they make their case. Now then get the ultimate voice. And I know say they go tell us that we win.
Well, at the tribunal on Monday, the Rivers State Election Petition Tribunal struck out the petition filed by the APC following the withdrawal by its lawyer, Solomon Umo, counsel to the APC, told the tribunal that he would be taking over as counsel for the party following a motion for change of counsel before the tribunal. He also informed the courts that his clients would like their names to be struck out from the petition as applicants. Jibrin Okutekba, who was the former counsel for Tony Cole and the APC, told the tribunal that he was not briefed on the new developments by the party. Well, the three-man panel led by Justice Cletus Emifoniye, however, granted the application for change of counsel and also granted the motion as prayed by striking out the name of APC as a petitioner. Well, no date has been fixed for the commencement of the pre-hearing of applications before the tribunal. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says the state government acquired the demolished Bayelsa State properties under the public policy of the state after the Bayelsa State government failed to renovate them. Governor Wike said this during the flag-off of the construction of judges' quarters at the site of the demolished building in Port Harcourt yesterday. And he said the condition of the buildings contravened the urban renewal policy of his administration.
In 2021, I wrote to my colleague, the governor of Bayelsa State, and I said, listen, this property here is highly dilapidated. You don't even know those who are staying here. In 2021, August, even when we attend our governor's meeting, I called his attention. I said, listen, there is no way we can allow this kind of property to be here. It is either you renovate it or you sell it to Rivers State government. 2022, I reminded him. I said, look, up to now, you've not done anything. I said, oh, you will try and do something. Minister of Land issued them another 14 days notice so that they'll be able to take action. But it's not. So we acquired it under public policy. And so that's why we are building the judges' quarters.
Well, Governor Wike also said the acquisition of the property will not affect the relationship between Rivers and Bayelsa states. Our correspondent reports that the construction of the judges' quarters is expected to be completed in 5 months. The coordinator of the River State Task Force on Street Trading and Illegal Motor Parks, Felix Wandibe, has again assured that the task force will follow the law as it resumed work yesterday after about 2 months of halting operations. Mr. Wandibe said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka as commercial drivers renewed calls for an overhaul of the task force.
All along, we have been clearing people from the road, street traders, illegal motor parks. It is the same job, but this time with more seriousness because the number of prosecutions we had last time was less. Now we will increase it. Offenders will no longer be treated with levity. They will be handled seriously. So more people will go to court. And that is the only different thing that we will face now. Any offender arrested will be prosecuted. So the leniency before now was much and makes the job look as if we are not serious.
Well, the coordinator of the River State Task Force on Street Trading and Illegal Motor Parks admitted that some officials of the task force connive with hoodlums to extort traders and drivers.
Before now, many people have been complaining of illegal task force about the rest, and it is not far from the truth. Most of the boys, even when they are not on duty, they will team up with some other persons, go on the roads, kind of illegal duty. So this time around, anyone found will definitely be thrown off the board. It will no longer be with us.
Well, speaking on the actual reason the task force suspended its operations in March, Mr. Wandibe said it is not linked to the death of the taxi driver at Rumokoro.
The incident at Rumokoro is a kind of personal issue, so that cannot stop government work from going on. Police is still investigating. So when the outcome of police investigation comes out, we don't know what the next step of action to take. For now, we are on, and the police are still on in that case. So it's not the reason why we were off-road for some time. We were off-road as a result of the management issue we are having, which have been resolved. We are fully back. Even all the flyovers in Port Harcourt, men will be posted there now because drivers behave anyhow, they park anyhow, traders storm the flyover market.
Well, recall that the taxi driver Simeon Ihuarolam, a 52-year-old father of 5 children from Awomama in Imo State, plied the Rumokoro Rukboko Igruta axis in Port Harcourt until his death. His fellow drivers say he was assaulted by a task force official on 12th March during an argument. Well, he died in the hospital the next day, sparking a protest by other taxi drivers. Now, the leadership of the task force never spoke on the issue, but its officials were taken off the road. A similar incident led to the dissolution of the task force in August of 2020. A fresh task force was later reconstituted in January 2021 with a promise to operate more professionally. Well, it hasn't turned out that way so far, even though their absence since March saw many street traders return to the roads alongside illegal motor parks. Meanwhile, the head of commercial drivers along the Rumokoro axis in Obiakpo local government area, Omas Jerry, says the family of Simeon Ihuarolam, the taxi driver who died after an argument with an official of the task force, reached an agreement with the leadership of the task force. In an interview with our correspondent, Mr. Jerry appealed to the task force to keep to the agreement with the family of late Mr. Ihuarolam before resuming operations.
Our court of law are not established for theatrics. At the end of the day, even when lawyers know that they have no fact, they play to the gallery because they know that everybody is watching. And at the end of the day, the layman will say, oh, that lawyer talked brilliantly. He talked brilliantly because he appealed to gallery. Every lawyer knows that if you have a good case, there are ways of proving a good case.
I informed that they want to start work, but the fact is that we are supposed to bury our brother that died because of their discharging of their duty. As it stands now, I've not seen them. As they said, they have negotiated with the family. The family have told us that they have agreed with them, the settlement. But we have not been informed that they have do what they promised. So we are also advising them that we are still in pain. It will be good enough if they have settled the family. And
apologies for the initial mix-up in the audio. Now, earlier, some commercial drivers called for an overhaul of the River State Task Force on Street Trading and Illegal Motor Parks as they resumed operations yesterday.
Then we start the work. Make them respect themselves. We feel like the government tell them. We two drivers to respect ourselves. I just see like 3 of them. Go them wear their cap. They don't really for us wear cap. Sorry to say, they be pre-spoiler. To me, as week they go, make them just go. Next thing, restructure the new task force. Give them code of conduct. Now what we need, now what the masses need.
Traders at the Rumokoro market also criticized the mode of operation of the task force and called for an outright ban on their operations.
Let them just dissolve them, let them go. Don't need them, We are okay, don't need them again.
No go like, make them resume, because some of them, they no get same passport, they turn the work. Like just like criminal work. Sometimes they go six market, they no go return them again. They go sell them on their own. They go beat person, bring blood.
Person like me, I don't even want them to come again, because they used to post again. Now.
U.S. President to send a 9-man delegation the projects received little attention. While upon the return to civilian rule, President Olusegun Obasanjo promised to deliver a second Niger River bridge. But his administration did not carry out any major activities on the project until 5 days before he handed over to the administration of Umar Musa Yar'Adua when Obasanjo flagged off the project in Asaba. Well, unfortunately, the death of President Yar'Adua marred the progress of the project. But in August 2012, the Federal Executive Council under Jonathan's administration approved a contract worth 325 million naira for the final planning and design of the bridge, where the President Muhammadu Buhari administration inherited the project, and on 15th December 2022, the bridge was opened to local traffic. Well, the second Niger bridge is 1.6 kilometers long and furnished with other ancillary infrastructure, including a 10.3 kilometer highway. Now, in January 2017, President Buhari's government earmarked the sum of 14.4 billion naira for the bridge. However, the total amount spent for the completion of the second Niger bridge cannot be verified yet. U.S. President Joe Biden has appointed a delegation on his behalf to attend the inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu next Monday. The White House stated this in an official statement yesterday, where the 9-member delegation will be led by the Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, Marcia Fudge. In business, Rivers State Chairman of Petron, Francis Dimba, says that the Dangote refinery will not be able to solve the problem of fuel scarcity in Nigeria. Well, he said this today on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire. Now, Mr. Dimba also appealed to the government and industry stakeholders to provide more refineries and create an enabling environment for private individuals to establish refineries.
I said that that's not sufficient. We need to get all of the four refineries that are in country working. We need to bring in more refineries. The Nigerian government and the NIPEC should make it easy for refineries to be set up, and also feedstock, sure to be able to give, confidence to the investors.
In entertainment, Justice Adeola Olatubosu of the Chief Magistrates Court in Yaba, Lagos, has adjourned the trial of Afrobeats musician Seun Kuti to tomorrow. The trial, which was slated for today, was said to have been adjourned as a result of the judge's absence from the court. Well, Seun Kuti is being tried for assaulting a policeman in Lagos State. And in sports, the Italian Football Federation has deducted 10 points from Juventus after a revision of their initial 15-point penalty inflicted on the club over illicit transfer activity. The new sanction dents Juventus's hopes of qualifying for next season's Champions League, pushing them out of the top 4 with 3 matches remaining this season.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been granted bail in multiple cases by an anti-terrorism court. What media reports today said Khan's wife, Bushra Bibi, was also granted protective bail until 31st May in a corruption case by the National Accountability Bureau. But Mr. Khan says nearly more than 50 decades he was removed from power in April. On the news this afternoon, you heard that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has merged the petitions of the PDP, the Labour Party and the APM. President Muhammadu Buhari, second Niger bridge, APC governorship candidate in Rivers State, Tony Cole, has denied withdrawing his petition at the tribunal. Commercial drivers are against the River State force on street tree and illegal motor parks as they resume operation. The United States President Joe Biden to send a 9-man delegation to attend Tinubu's inauguration. And on foreign scene, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been granted bail from anti-terrorism courts. And the news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. Mostly sunny weather. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Constance Mega. Do stay tuned. Coming up next is The Sunny Side.
It's the #1 station for